6 weeks ago, Catherine Miller was a cadet at West Point, ranked 9th in her class of more than 1,000. Last month, she quit. She decided to transfer out of West Point because she believed that serving under Don't Ask, Don't Tell was compromising her integrity. Then, last night, she went to the MTV Video Music Awards as a guest of Lady Gaga. You know, as you do. Joining us now for the interview is Catherine Miller, who has had a remarkable month or so. Catherine, thanks for being here.
No, thanks for having me.
How did you end up going to the VMAs with Lady Gaga?
All right, so I was sponsored by the Service Members Legal Defense Network, actually last Tuesday, to attend a concert she was performing in Washington, D.C., and she specifically wanted to meet service members that had been discharged or had resigned because of the policy. So I had the opportunity to speak with her, and as well as the other service members. We told her our story, and she was really touched by that. And she wanted to do something a little bit bigger, so she proposed the VMAs, and we all accepted.
Oh. Sort of seems like you've had a big month. When we last spoke, you were still in your dorm room at West Point. You'd submitted your resignation. It hadn't been processed, so you were still technically a cadet. What's happened over the past month for you? What sort of changes have you been through?
Well, on 13 August 2010, I was officially discharged from the military. Since then, I've been doing media, really trying to get my story out there. And on the 26th of August, I moved into Yale University dorm rooms, right, and I started class September 1st. And yeah, the rest is history, I suppose. Do
people at Yale know your story and why you're there, and the source of your transfer, the reason that you left West Point?
Absolutely, they are familiar with it.
Have you had any trouble?
They've been overwhelmingly supportive, so it's been a great environment to be part of.
Do you feel regretful? Do you feel happy about the decision that you made, or are you just overwhelmed?
Again, it's a huge feeling of ambivalence for me. I know I did leave something that was a huge part of me and that I loved, but at the same time, I know it was the right decision, and I know I'm in the right place to make a difference now.
Mm-hmm. I know that you were here when I was introducing this segment, doing sort of an update a moment ago about what's happening on Don't Ask, Don't Tell. There's a lot of movement right now in the courts. The case last week, the Log Cabin Republicans case, the Marjorie Witt case that's happening right now in Congress. For whatever reason, they may be ready to move in the Senate. When you think about your role as an advocate on this issue, do you feel optimistic that things are really going to change, or do you feel like this is something that's just continually getting kicked down the road?
I think in the past few months we've seen unprecedented progress in the repeal for this. So undoubtedly we have the momentum to get this law finally repealed. So I'm absolutely optimistic, but at the same time I know that it's an act of diligence that's going to finally get this law repealed.
What do you mean an act of diligence?
I know right now it wasn't until today that the Senate finally scheduled a vote, to get the vote on the agenda. And it's going to take this continued attention to the issue to point out the fact that, hey, Don't Ask, Don't Tell is still affecting people today, that people are still getting kicked out of the military based solely on their sexual orientation, and that's just wrong. And I think we lose sight of the fact that this policy is affecting people every day. So I think by bringing continual awareness to this and making it a big deal, then we're finally going to be able to get it repealed.
Let me ask you about some of the choices that you have made in the images from the VMAs. I'm struck by the fact that you're in your West Point uniform. Mm-hmm. Is that, as were the other former members of the military who were with you? Is that I don't know about the policy implications that has. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me about the decision to wear a uniform and whether or not that's a controversial issue for you?
Certainly. So, according to U.S. Code Title 10, Section 772, I believe, if you were discharged honorably and you joined the military in a time of war, you're entitled to wear a uniform. You're entitled to that honor, even though you're discharged, not part of the military technically anymore. So that was my rationale, and the fact that I still feel pride in wearing it, so I was absolutely going to wear it to the VMAs. But more importantly, at the same time, I want to start by saying that I'm a member of OutServe, and what that is, it's an underground network of gay, lesbian, bisexual active duty soldiers. Mm. And a couple months ago, I was part of that underground, and I didn't have a voice. And since then, I've been put into a position where I'm able to vocalize what the voiceless can't say, and I'm able to by wearing my uniform to the VMAs, make visible what was previously invisible, these soldiers. So although it was a controversial decision, I feel like I'm doing the right thing.
And in terms of this being an underground network, do you mean there is an organized group of people who are not out in the military, obviously, because you can't be, but who know each other to be gay? Or do you mean the informal friendships and relationships that occur among people who have to operate in a closeting environment?
No, OutServe is a formal organization where we're able to discuss issues pertaining to Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and how we can become active in fighting against this. So OutServe is specifically for active duty members and people that don't have a voice in this issue right now.
If the policy is repealed either in the courts or politically, are you still thinking that you would get back into the Army if you could?
Absolutely. So military service is something that I'm absolutely going to perform sometime in my lifetime. This commitment to public service is something that's near and dear to me, and I will serve in the military in some capacity, whether it's by returning to West Point if repeal occurs in a time and manner, or if it's commissioning via a different commissioning source. But I will serve my country in one capacity or another.
As long as the country catches up to you.
Absolutely.
Which seems like it's much harder than it ought to be. Former West Point cadet and Lady Gaga escort, Catherine Miller, thank you so much for your bravery and your service. Thank you.